Hey, welcome. Hello to everybody that is here. It's 2 o'clock. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes with the RX One Shop webinar. And my name's Erich Schmidt. I'm going to be your presenter today. We're going to be talking about social media. I'm going to give people just a couple of minutes because I see that we had some people signed up, and it looks like about half the people that have signed up are present already, because I see that I see by the number, the count up there, that they've signed in. So we're going to give it just a minute, and I'll let more people come in, and then we'll get rolling. So hang out for just about a minute, minute and a half, and we'll get things going. I did want to say thank you very much to Dan and Doug Supon, RX One Shop. Those guys have done a fantastic job in working with our group to put together this series of webinars. And we do have additional webinars coming up over the course of next week, and the week after that. I'll talk about that a little bit in just a couple of minutes. But Dan and Doug, they're wholesale pharmaceuticals, and what they do is fairly impressive, because they don't charge you a fee to be a part of their wholesale buying group. You're getting the discount value from what they do just by actively buying from them. So you don't have to pay a fee like you do with some of these guys to actually belong to their wholesale buying group. You can take advantage of everything they have. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll give it just about one more minute, and then we'll get things rolling. All right, so we're at about 3 minutes after 2 o'clock right now, and I know we'll probably have a couple more people come into the webinar room once we get things rolling, but I think we'll go ahead and get started. This will be recorded, so there will be an opportunity to view it afterwards. If you find information that you think is valuable and helpful, you'll be able to view it again down the road. For those people who are unable to make it but did sign up, they'll also be able to go ahead and check it out. So my name's Erich Schmidt. My company is Winfield & Associates Marketing and Advertising. We're a small agency located in Cary, North Carolina, which is a suburb of Raleigh, the state capital. And I've run a small agency for the last, well, it'll be 18 years in a couple of weeks. And when we first started out, we were doing radio, television, billboards, all of the things that traditional advertising agencies did 18 years ago. And over time, we ended up sort of slowly morphing and changing as the landscape around us changed, and moving into social media, and specifically Facebook, Google AdWords, and email marketing. So what happened is, this is about 12 years ago, one of our clients that was a direct response client, they were very flexible with us, and they let us do a lot of experimentation. And so we started running ads on Google, and this was in the early days of Google. And we discovered that by doing certain things, that using landing pages was one of them, that we could track what we were doing. And it turned out to be fairly effective, because when something wasn't working, we could stop and move along. When it was working, we could add more of it. So we had also run a lot of radio and a lot of television for them. So we could see the shift that was taking place as the cost per lead in radio and television went up, and the cost per lead online was really relatively low in comparison to what we had to pay for traditional media. So I moved a few years ago specifically to get into those three areas: Facebook, the Google AdWords, and email marketing. We've been doing email marketing for a long time with our clients as well, and so the Facebook was the last piece of that puzzle. And a couple of years ago, I figured out that since that's where the eyeballs were, that's where we needed to be as a business. And so I started figuring out how it is that we could use Facebook effectively. And I enrolled in a couple of courses and spent a lot of time. It took about a year to really start to get a handle on it. So, all right, at this point, that's the brief background on me and the types of things that I've done. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to get started with a quick poll, and you're going to be able to answer that right on your screen. And what I want to do is get a count of how many of you currently have an active social media program for your business. And based on the initial returns, looks like Nope, sort of fluctuating back and forth here as people answer. All right, so it looks like it's just slightly north of 50% on the yes, slightly below 50% on the no. Let's address the big question, which is, do you really need social media? Well, and the answer to that is really only if you want to reach potential new customers and influence your existing customers. You know, it used to be you could place an ad in the local newspaper and reach the majority of the people in your area. Or you could buy an ad on the local cable system and select some channels that reach the demographics that look like your customers. But the newspapers that are left have very little readership, and cable penetration rates are declining while the cost per spot keeps going up. So what's that leave? Radio? Well, like TV, radio is losing market share to Pandora, satellite radio, and the ability to keep your music right on your phone. Billboards? Now, those tend to be more directional in nature. Magazines? They're dying just like newspapers, but the process is happening more slowly. I'd say Yellow Pages, but heck, those are already gone. Google is, for all intensive purposes, the new Yellow Pages. YouTube is the new TV. Facebook is the new social gathering place. Instagram is where we share pictures of our vacation instead of doing it on a slideshow like you did 30 years ago when you'd invite people over to your house. LinkedIn is where we post our permanent, always on display resume. When it's time to market your pharmacy, you need to go where the eyeballs are. And I'm not going to spend 10 minutes throwing a bunch of stats at you, but here are a couple of quick ones. Over 70% of the population in the US is on Facebook. 67% of people on the internet use Facebook at least once a day, and the vast majority use it multiple times a day. YouTube has over 30 million visitors a day, and they watch almost 5 billion videos every single day. Instagram has 700 million unique monthly users and is currently the fastest growing social network. However, 80% of the users live outside the US. Twitter has 317 million unique monthly users. Interestingly, 53% of those users never actually do anything on Twitter. So I mention these names because they're common enough that everyone's heard of them. All those statistics don't really mean much at the end of the day. What matters is how you engage your prospective and current clients. To do that, you've got to give them benefit. You have to provide value that makes you useful and memorable. So I have a question that requires a little bit of interactivity. What's the one thing about your business that makes you unique? Put your answer in the chat box over on the right-hand side. And keep it simple. I'm just looking for a couple of words here, not a long-winded answer. Customer service, says Ernie. All right, it looks like somebody, the experience we provide our clients. Okay, so we're getting a couple of interesting answers. Well, here is going to be the real answer, and it's you. You are what makes your business unique. And the best part is that no one can steal that uniqueness. When you personalize your business, you separate yourself from Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid. The big chains have a rotating cast of characters, and they actively promote the name brand, not the people. All right, now I'm going to change topic for a minute, and then we're going to tie it together with what we were just talking about. Here's another quick poll. Have you heard the term authenticity? Just answer yes or no. Authenticity. Fairly straightforward word. And it looks like we have yes as our, well, there's a no. Still mostly yes. All right, so it looks like a fair number of you are familiar with the term authenticity. So the internet likes reality, and that's reflected in the surge of reality shows on TV in the last 10 to 15 years. There have always been reality shows going back to the earliest days of TV, but the popularity and dominance of reality shows coincides with the emergence of the internet and the smartphone. Every major event that happens today is covered from dozens of angles by citizen journalists with their smartphones. Check out YouTube and the videos that have views in the hundreds of thousands and millions, and it's popular entertainers, then car crashes, fights, and gruesome sports injuries. When the video is live, real-time, and unedited, it attracts attention. Now think about slickly produced television commercials from Walgreens, or for that matter, any of the big pharmacy chains. Are they memorable? Do they distinguish themselves from the other 100 commercials you're likely to see in the space of watching a couple of hours worth of television? Are they authentic? Or is it just pablum that's being fed to the masses? All right, now let's circle back to just a couple of minutes ago. We were talking about you because you're the uniqueness of your business. Social media by its nature rewards authenticity and uniqueness because it's real. People like, share, and comment on things that are real. So when you provide value to your customers that's authentic, they're going to remember it. How many of you are using stock photos to post in your Facebook news feed? Think about that for a second. Doesn't that make you the same as the big boxes? What you're looking at right now on the screen are stock photos. Those are all actual stock photos that I bought and used in advertising. Paid advertising, by the way, not Facebook news feed stuff. So do they belong to the companies that I advertised for? No. And can anybody else use them? Yes, that's where the problem lies. So what's your message? Is it one of value to your prospective customer, or is it just buy my crap? Please buy my crap. Now, let's put this stuff together so that you can use social media in a way that connects with your customers, is authentic, provides value, and sells your business. I'm going to use flu season as an example. It seems like flu season lasts for about 6 months nowadays. Even into April last spring, I was seeing news stories about the flu still being active. As a pharmacist, you are uniquely, and let me repeat that word, uniquely positioned to provide timely information that people need and will consume. February is still considered winter and flu season, and your big box retailers are still advertising flu shots. But what is the average consumer in middle America thinking? Probably that it's too late to get a flu shot because winter's almost over. But you have knowledge that can help that consumer, and it's real, it's local, and it's timely. What you know is how many people are coming into your store and buying cold and flu medicine. Now you can make a short video using your iPhone or a $30 camera on your desktop computer. The title of your video is, "Do I Still Need to Get a Flu Shot?" And here's what it sounds like. Just pretend I'm using a different voice right now. Hi, I'm John Brown, the owner and pharmacist at Brown's Pharmacy in Centerville. This time of year, the most common question I get is, do I still need to get a flu shot? Well, I can tell you that strain of flu this year was fairly mild. And so far this month, I'm selling less cold and flu medicine than I did last year. That tells me that probably not as many people have the flu. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still selling a lot of cold and flu medicine. So here's what I suggest. We've got a vitamin supplement that's formulated to boost your immune system. It's got a combination of A, Q, C, and Z, and a bottle of 100 chewable and flavored tablets is just $14.95. They're on aisle 3, which is to the right as you walk into the store. Now, back to the question of, should you still get a flu shot? The strain going around now is GG32, and the flu shot is formulated for GG75. Notice how I just made those up, just like the National Disease Center Control does. All right, so I'm not doing flu shots anymore this season, but I always suggest you check with your doctor because there may be other health factors that determine if you should still get the shot. Thanks for taking a minute to listen, and here's to your good health. So that was just over a minute. Notice a couple of things. The pharmacist that I was imitating is talking to the audience like you would talk to your neighbor. The pharmacist is giving actual information based on what he or she sees happening in the store and immediate community. It's real information that's relevant to the viewer. It's authentic, it's relatable, and it's selling something. Shooting a video like that probably take about 5 minutes. Posting it on Facebook, your website, and YouTube might take, say, 15 minutes. Now, let's be clear, this isn't going to be perfect. What it is real. So You see the guy that whose picture up there, Don Grove, as John Brown, the pharmacist. It's a little bit of a joke here, and it's because Don is hosting a boot camp for pharmacy owners in January at his pharmacy in Warsaw, Missouri. Don's a pioneer in the community pharmacy business, and his store does double the revenue of the national average. And Warsaw is a town of just over 2,000 people. As it happens, I'm also going to be one of the speakers at the boot camp, and that's going to be along with an all-star lineup of experts that include Don Grove himself, Tony DeRico, Meredith Bell, Don Farrell, and Tom Feltenstein. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to bizleadership.co for the details. And if you're interested in attending, I've got an exclusive code you can use at registration to get $100 off. And you see the code on your screen right now. It's Erich S. So just my first name and first initial of the last name. Erich S is the $100 discount code. All right, let's get back on topic. So here's another way to connect, provide value, and sell. This is also one of my favorites because it works so well. If you were here for the webinar I was part of a couple of weeks ago, I talked about emails. I talk about email a lot because it's still one of the most effective ways you can communicate with your customers and potential customers. Social media, Facebook and Instagram in particular, are great for building your email list. The way we do that is by targeting a desired audience. Maybe it's a local neighborhood, certain zip codes, or a radius around your store. We show those people an ad and offer them the chance to enter a drawing to win a $100 gift card to your store. They enter by giving us their name and email. Pretty straightforward. So we collect a bunch of people to add to the email database. Now here's where it gets interesting. When they sign up, I send them an email that says, "Thanks, Mrs. Customer, for entering our gift card drawing. In the meantime, here's a coupon for $10 off your next purchase over $30. It's valid for 1 week, so hurry in." In a week, I'm going to send them another email. This one says, "Dear Mrs. Customer, I hope you had the opportunity to use the $10 off coupon. One of our manufacturers is having a closeout, and here's a coupon for product X." Then we send an email announcing the winner. The winner is Bridget L. in Centerville. Even though you didn't win, take advantage of this special buy on Metamucil, or put your product in here. The winner email gets incredibly high open rates because people want to know if they've won. At each step, we're putting your name in front of them and giving them a reason to trust their prescriptions to you versus the nameless, faceless big box. Once they've gone through the sequence of emails we set up, they get added to your primary email database. Okay, now I want to ask all of you a question. Do you have an email communication program in place? And this is going to be a poll question, so you're going to get to type yes or no. So far, just no is the only answer that I'm getting. Somebody's got it. Come on, somebody's got to have an email communication program. Nobody? All right, we're going to roll with no. All right, so if you don't already have an email communication program in place, that should be a priority. It's the best opportunity you have to stay in front of your customers consistently for the least amount of money. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the other platforms that businesses commonly use to promote themselves online. We'll start with YouTube. And why is it so big? Well, because people like to watch video. It's that simple. You can pay to advertise on YouTube before people watch their videos, or you can build up your own YouTube channel. After car crashes and cat videos, how-to videos are the most viewed. So what that means is when you demonstrate how to solve a problem on a video with you as the star, you're bringing value and knowledge to your clients. When you build a library of videos, people are going to see you as a resource. All right, so Instagram. Instagram is I mentioned earlier, fastest growing app currently. And that was designed as an app for people to communicate visually with photos and videos and was launched back in 2010. Now, Facebook was smart enough to see the future. And rather than, rather than try and compete with Instagram, they bought it in 2012 for $1 billion. I think they had 13 employees at the time. It's a great place to reach millennials, and the highest usage is from people under the age of 35. So LinkedIn targets the niche of business people, and LinkedIn really owns that market. It's sort of a permanent virtual resume and communication tool, and it can be a great platform when you're marketing on the business-to-business side. So Twitter gets a lot of mention in the news these days because politicians are now successfully using it to express their opinions and also bash their opponents, a time-honored tradition in the world of politics. The life of a tweet is short, and this is one of the shortcomings of the platform itself. It's usually less than a minute, which makes it more difficult to communicate at the local level with any consistency. Snapchat, and if you have kids, you probably are familiar with Snapchat. It's what people under the age of 25 are using to communicate these days. It's got filters, and it can be a fun way to communicate with each other. From a marketing standpoint, unfortunately, it really isn't there yet. They're still trying to figure out their offerings. And by the way, if you weren't aware of this, Facebook, Google AdWords, all of these platforms have ever-evolving advertising opportunities. So they aren't doing the same things they were doing just 2 years ago. The process of change, updating, and creating new opportunities to monetize all the eyeballs that they have on their platform, they're always doing that. So the platforms themselves and the way that you advertise on them evolves. And there are dozens more social networks with all kinds of specialized target groups. And the problem is that it's easy to get distracted when someone says, oh, you should advertise on Stupidorama. Everyone's using it. Well, everyone means that the person's weird brother-in-law, sort of like Cousin Eddie from the Christmas Vacation movie. Well, like all well-executed marketing, you need a plan for your social media efforts. That plan should include objectives for each campaign, selecting platforms that reach your potential customers, tracking mechanisms to see what works and what doesn't, and a planning calendar that guides your efforts. The reality is that advertising doesn't require you to be a genius, but it does require work. So just as you worked hard to build your business, you've got to work hard to market and advertise it. Either that or you've got to pay someone else to do it. If you're going to pay someone else, you still have to take the time to know what they're doing and understand the results. If you get 75 clicks on your Facebook ad, is that good or bad? Well, we won't know unless we track the next step after the click, and the next step after that, and the next step until someone turns into a customer. The most successful business owners I've worked with over the last 18 years of ad agency ownership all spend a lot of time on the marketing and advertising. Doesn't matter whether it's a service business or a product business, because they took the time to understand what they were marketing and who they were marketing to. They were more effective and hired more effective people to help them execute their vision for growth. Social media is a tool to be used for the benefit of your business. Mark Zuckerberg isn't in the business of philanthropy. He's in the business of making money. If you can make money using his platform, then do it. If you can't, then find another platform. So in just a minute, I'm going to answer questions. We'll do the Q&A, so hang around. Thanks to Dan and Doug of RX One Shop. They've been great hosts for the webinar and the webinar series that we're presenting. The next webinar in our series is going to be Tony DeRico on the subject of hiring the right people the first time. That's this coming Tuesday, December 5th. And by the way, all of these are at 2 o'clock Eastern time. All of them are going to be recorded, so even if you're unable to make it, it's a topic that interests you, go ahead and sign up, because you will be able to view it at a later time. Then Meredith Bell is going to be talking about helping your employees develop people skills and inner strengths that build them into star performers. That's going to be a week from today on Thursday, December 7th. And Don Farrell is going to be talking about sales, service, and leadership on Tuesday, December 12th. So there's going to be a link on the upper right side of your screen so that you can sign up for any or all of these webinars. Now, if you want to grow your social media marketing and you need help, I've got 2 offers that are going to be exclusive to this series of webinars. The first is a turnkey Facebook campaign for $4.95. That's the planning, creative, landing page software, email collection, and ad spend. The second is a social media opportunity assessment. I'll review your social media strategy and spend an hour with you outlining your best opportunities to grow your business. All right, so now it's time for us to get to the Q&A, and the place to do that is going to be over in the chat box there. So if you've got questions, go ahead and type them in, and I will get those answered. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on my camera. It'll be in the lower right-hand corner, so you'll be able to see me, and we can answer these. So first question here is, what is creative? And I assume that's going to be referring to the offer of a Facebook campaign. The creative means that we go ahead, in addition to putting the whole campaign together, we actually put together the creative. So we'll create the ad. We'll come up with whatever is needed in terms of photography and visuals, if we have to design something, in order to make that work. And it looks like we have Doug Soup on with us here, who I may have had some technical trouble trying to get in. So we'll break out of the Q&A for just a second. Doug, you want to say hello? I'm not hearing Doug. Is everybody hearing Doug?
Are we hearing me?
Ah, there you go.
There we go. So sorry about that. Yes, technical difficulties today a little bit. But we are good now. And I just wanted to first quickly say thank you so much, Erich Schmidt, for speaking about social media marketing. It is definitely very important for any business to get their name out there with that. And you definitely know the right way to do it. And we appreciate your help with that. I also want to say thank you to everyone who showed up to listen to our educational webinar. Again, do not forget, we do have 3 more coming up in the next week and a half, and we will be offering more of these in the future as well. Please check out www.rx1shop.com. We will definitely help you and your pharmacy save time and money. It's not always about money, but it's also time as well. So definitely check out RX One Shop. We can help you with your brand, your generic. Now we have a diabetic section for test strips. We're also going to have front end merchandise for your pharmacies. That's going to be coming soon. Again, we're trying to get everything under one spot for you, under one website, to make it easier for you so you save time and money. So again, thank you so much for coming to this. I apologize I wasn't here at the very beginning of it, but we're here now, and we can say thank you to everyone for showing up. We appreciate you.
Excellent. Doug, thank you very much for being a great host here and for helping us to present this whole series. Do we have any further questions for the Q&A? We've got about a minute left here. We did promise to make this a 30-minute webinar. We're going to try and keep it right to that, because I know that the people who are attending are busy professionals. So we want to respect your time and let you get back to work so that you can make some money. Any other questions? All right, I think we are good to go in that case. So Doug, thank you very much. Everybody who attended, thank you. And if you want to sign up, the link is live. We'll leave that up for a couple of minutes here in the upper right hand corner. Go ahead, and thank you all for being here today.
Thank you so much. And also check us out on LinkedIn. Look for us on LinkedIn. We have a lot of things on LinkedIn that we schedule, so you can see it there as well. Thank you so much for your time.